Guys, we're almost through the fall season. You're gonna start getting some invitations to different holiday events, functions, banquets, and family gatherings. And some of those events might have specific dress codes. And so that you don't have to stress out, what I wanna do today is break down each dress code, go over some details, and exactly how to pull that look off. And we're gonna go from the most formal to the most casual. But there's a couple of categories we're gonna leave off this list. First, we're gonna leave off white tie. It is very uncommon and unlikely you're gonna get invited to a white tie event this holiday season. This is the one where you see someone wearing a black tailcoat, a white bow tie, a top hat. It's very formal, very specific. But I wanna make the most use of your time in this video, so I don't wanna go into great detail with that dress code. On the other end, I'm not gonna go into the most casual. I have plenty of videos and outfit ideas for you guys that I've put together in different shorts that I'll link below, showing you how to put jeans, a t-shirt and sneakers, chinos, loafers, and a polo. I don't want to go into great detail in this video, so I make the most use of your time. Now, as we go on through this video, based off the categories we go over today, I want you to let me know what category does the outfit I have on today fall under. Now let's start with the most formal on this list, and it's gonna be black tie. If you get an invitation that says black tie, they're expecting you to be in a tuxedo and a bow tie. Do not wear a necktie with this dress code. The most appropriate colors are gonna be black or midnight blue. However, if you see black tie creative, they're giving you some options to get a little more creative with the colors. You can go with burgundy, an emerald, a lighter blue, or you can mess around with the textures like maybe a velvet. But if you don't see black tie creative, then just stick with black or midnight blue. A proper tuxedo jacket is not going to have metal or plastic buttons. The buttons are going to be of the same material of either the jacket or the sheen of the lapel. The most appropriate is going to be one button or double-breasted. The lapel should have a sheen to it of silk or satin that contrasts the material of the jacket. For the lapels, I would go with a peak lapel or a shawl lapel. I'd avoid a notch lapel as that lends itself to be a little bit more casual. For the pants, proper tuxedo pants do not have belt loops. They'll have side adjusters and a black ribbon running down the side of the pant. If they don't have either one of these things, they're not a proper tuxedo pant. A proper tuxedo pant should never have cuffs. It should be a plain hem that just touches the shoe. As far as footwear, the most appropriate is going to be a patent leather Oxford. For the socks, the most appropriate is going to be black silk or thin merino wool, and make sure that it's an above the calf sock so that when you sit down, you don't see your skin between the pant and the sock. For the shirt, the most proper is going to be white, and it should not have a chest pocket. As far as the placket, you might have some with slits that you push some studs through, or the placket will cover the buttons, or you can go with some chest pleats. The sleeves should always be a French cuff. For the accessories, I would stick with the white cotton, silk, or linen pocket square and a presidential fold. For the timepiece, I would stick with a formal timepiece, something with a black leather strap and a white dial. And the most important, do not wear a pre-tied bow tie or clip-on tie. You're not going to your high school prom. I'll link below how to tie one of your own bow ties, and I assure you that if you do this, you'll be one of very few men that tied their own bow tie. And there's no greater flex than untying your own bow tie at the end of the night. You pay attention to all these little details, and I assure you, you're gonna be the best dressed man in the room at that event. Now, number two, I see much more common in today's society, and it's black tie optional. If you see black tie optional on your invitation, they're giving you the option to either wear a tuxedo if you own one, or a suit. The trick here is if you choose to go with the suit, the formality of the suit should be adjacent to that of the tuxedo. As far as colors, if you choose to go with the suit, I would do navy blue, charcoal, and this is one of the few times I recommend wearing a black suit outside of a funeral. For the shirt, I would stick with the white shirt, and you can go with either French cuff or a plain cuff. For your tie, I would stick with the silk tie. Don't do a knitted tie here, and don't wear a bow tie unless you want to look like Bill Nye the Science Guy. If you choose to wear a bow tie, just go with the tuxedo. For the footwear, I'd stick with the black cap-toe Oxford. For the socks, I would do over-the-calf merino wool, matching the color of your trousers or your shoes. For the accessories, I would stick with the white pocket square and a presidential fold. For the timepiece, I'd stick with the formal watch with the black leather strap and a white dial. Your whole goal here when you're wearing a suit for black tie optional is that the suit is as dressy and as classy looking as that tuxedo. Now, for number three, we have some play and some options for creativity here. And it's semi-formal or cocktail attire. Now, with cocktail attire, you have a wide variety of options here. You can go with a whole suit. Wearing a darker color, you can opt to go with or without the tie. Or you can go with a nice merino wool sweater under your sport coat or your suit. And you can do some odd trousers with a dark blazer. I would stick with keeping to darker colors here. If you're taking a date to one of these events, it is very likely she's going to be in a black or red cocktail dress. And you don't want to match her, but you definitely want to complement her. Now, you have some creativity and options here with the footwear as well. If you choose to not wear a tie, you're completely okay going with some loafers. And you can go with the no sock look. However, if you choose to wear a tie and you choose to wear some Oxfords, absolutely throw on some socks. For the timepiece, you can stick with the formal watch or you can go with something with a metal band. This is a category you're going to find quite often at your business holiday events. Now moving on to number four, and it's business formal. With this one, think of Wall Street, the boardroom, the courtroom. For here, I would stick with the full suit. I would not wear odd trousers with the blazer. For the shirt, I would stick with either white or blue with the white collar or cuffs. I would stick with the silk tie and a pocket square that complements the tie but does not match the tie. For the footwear, I would stick with the black cap toe Oxford. For the timepiece, a couple of options. You can do the black leather strap, or you can do a dressy dive watch or a tank inspired watch. Again, think of the most business formal event you might attend, whether it's your job as an attorney, if you're in finance, or if you're going on an interview. Now, number 5 happens to be my personal favorite, and it's business casual. Here's where you can start bringing out some odd trousers with a blazer or a sport coat. You also have some flexibility and play with the shirt. You can always stick with white. You can do light blue, you can do bangle stripe, you can do small checkers, you can do window pane. You have a lot of flexibility here. This is also where I would wear an Oxford button-down collared shirt. Be creative with your pocket square. Again, always complementing the tie, not matching the tie. For the footwear, you can do Oxfords, derbies, or loafers. And if you want to bring down the formality of business casual, you can just leave off the tie. If you choose to leave off the tie, you can go with loafers. And as long as you're not wearing a tie and you're wearing loafers, you can go with the no sock look. Do not go with the no sock look if you're wearing Oxfords or derbies. For the timepiece, I would stick with something with a metal band. Now, the last one for many of us is going to be the most common, and it's smart casual. This is also something you'd wear in a workplace environment. This is where I might wear ivory chinos, a blue Oxford button-down collared shirt, a navy blazer sport coat, and some loafers with the no sock look. If I'm going for a smart casual look, I rarely throw on a tie unless it's a knitted tie. For the timepiece, a lot of play here. You can do something with a leather strap or something with a metal band. With all the looks I'm going over with you today, the number one rule about the timepiece is do not wear a smartwatch. If you want to bring it down just a bit and wear some jeans, then go with dark indigo blue jeans, maybe a merino wool sweater. You can layer that with a sport coat. And with your shoes, I would go with the derby, either cap-toed or wing-tipped. If you're going to go with the jean look, don't wear Oxfords or whole-cut dressy shoes with your jeans. Even throwing on a pair of dressy Chelsea boots would be a great option here. For the timepiece, exactly the same as you would wear with your chinos. Like I said, in today's world, this is the most common look for the business workplace. All right, guys, I hope this gives you a little bit of direction this holiday season. So when you receive that invitation and you see a specific dress code, you don't have to stress out. Just refer back to this video. And as always, guys, thanks again, and see you in the next one.